Now, in this technical demonstration, we need to, as an auditor, take information from our audited sessions and share it with others who do not have access to the audit analyzer or any of the reviewed sessions. So in order to do this, we need to export information. So that's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to go back to my query for grouping by machines, and I'm going to take information from both of these systems. So we'll start with the help desk system. So I'm going to open the session. And as you can see here, I do have my events. I do have the recorded information. But again, I need to export this. So what I need to do is I'm going to come over here to File, and I have some options. I can export to text, which means I can export the session, and I can export the session with user inputs. So let's go ahead and take both of these. I'll start by exporting the session, and I'm going to just save this into my Documents folder. We'll give this a name. Since we're going to do several of these, I'm going to go ahead and name them accordingly. We'll go back to File once again. I'm going to go to Export to Text, and I'm going to export the session with user inputs. I'm going to come up to File once again. I'm going to use, instead of Export to Text, I'm going to export to Command List. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You'll notice that this is going to be a CSV file. So we'll go ahead and we'll call this one root help desk command list. And we'll go ahead and save it. Another option is to export to a Windows Media video file. So this will take the actual recorded session and save it as a video file that we can then show to others who are in a position to review this information and take appropriate actions. The last one is to copy the URI session. Now, what we can do here is I can now copy that, and then I can open up a browser, for example, Internet Explorer, and I can paste it, and it will prompt me to allow this website to be opened. We'll go ahead and allow it, and it will then open up the session once again. So I can, in fact, share the entire URI session with others without having to export any of the information. So we're going to go ahead and close this, and we'll close our browser. And now we can close the session. Let's go ahead and review that information that we just exported. So I'm going to open up Windows Explorer. I'll go over to my documents. And as you can see here, I have those exported information. So let's start with just the session export. So I'm going to open this up. As you can see here, in a Unix-based environment, it's going to show me everything that was displayed on the screen during the process of this user's experience. So now I can do keyword searches. I can look for specific information that I need to pay a very close attention to and report to others for any kind of action that needs to be taken for this user. Now, obviously, I'm logged in as root here. If we did this with a traditional user, traditional identity, who's using privileged elevation, for example, we now not only have the ability to audit their session, but we also know who is actually using that session. We'll go ahead and exit this one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the user inputs. This is going to be a little bit more detailed. As you can see here, it's going to show every single command line input that the user made, not just the output. The command line listing. Go ahead and open this in Notepad. This is just going to be a list of every command that they've run on that during that particular session. So again, a little bit less information, but it shows me what the user typed in. So I can be as detailed as I want to be. I can also, again, I can then review the session in a Windows Media file, or just simply use this information here for any kind of training or disciplinary actions as part of the audit practices. So that takes care of a Unix system. Let's take a look at a Windows session. So I'm going to go over to my app server. Go ahead and open up this session. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the file. Now I can export to CDF. And we'll go ahead and save it. I'll go ahead and I can export the event list. And this will also be a CSV file. So and I can export to a Windows Media video file. And I can copy the URI session just as I did on the Unix systems. So as you can see, I do have some options when I need to share information regarding audit sessions.